Greetings to you from Warsaw, Poland. My name is Victor Doctor and this is my podcast, Good Morning BSS World. Business support services, modern business services, outsourcing, offshoring, nearshoring, global business centers are my all business world. This podcast is to share with you news, secrets, comments, opinions, reviews, recommendations, interviews, and many other stories concerning the BSS industry. I am the head of Pro Progressio, membership, research, analytics, consulting, media, and events organization located in Poland, where since 2012, together with my team, I run a lot of business initiatives supporting growth, knowledge exchange, development, communication, networking, and service suppliers recommendations. Welcome to my weekly show, which is presented to you every Sunday morning, Central European Time. Enjoy listening, and if you like it, tell others, share it, leave your opinion, or subscribe not to miss any of new episodes of this podcast. Here we are. Let's begin. Hello, my listeners. This is Victor Doctor, and this is Good Morning BSS World podcast. We are in the last Sunday of 2019. I was wondering for a while what to give you at this last episode in 2019. And as a result, it came to my mind that it will be good to share with you some information about the industry's magazine, which is being printed and edited in Poland for already 8 years. This magazine is Outsourcing and More. For the moment, this is the only one Polish-English bi-monthly magazine of outsourcing and modern business services in the world, which is regularly issued. There are, of course, a number of other magazines which are edited and printed in the other countries, but not as regularly as Outsourcing and More is. So why am I telling you today about this magazine? Because it gives a huge impact on the knowledge sharing and know-how sharing in the area of outsourcing and shared services and global business services, not only in Poland, but also in Europe. For the moment, there were 49 issues which were already prepared by the editorial team. In January 2020, it will be the 50th edition of this magazine. So, quite nice anniversary, having in mind that for the last 8 years, every year, 6 new editions of this magazine were prepared. Why this magazine is actually appearing, and what was the idea to create it this 8 years ago? So, first of all, I think it is good to identify some needs of the industry which are appearing on a daily basis, and this magazine is covering them. So first of all, this is the need of learning. So we, the people of BSS industry, would like to learn and get familiar what is happening in the industry in general, what the other companies are doing, how they are challenging their challenges, how they are building their strategies, what are their operation models, and so on and so on. So we need to learn. So we are searching for a lot of information. We are looking for this information. And Outsourcing and More is the tool, is the paper, is the newspaper, is the magazine where this information is being shared. Also, it is a good source of information of who is who. On the pages of Outsourcing and More, you can get familiar with who is managing what company, what are the teams, the managerial teams in various businesses. So, in basic answer, who is who in the BSS industry. Also, this magazine gives a certain view of how the locations are being foreseen from the perspective of the BSS industry investors. So it is a good source of information where to build an operation center. Okay, what is the content of the magazine? So the magazine has various types of sections, various types of publications, types of them, and in general we can say that they are built in three main areas. One of them is business, the other one is investments, and the third one is HR. And if we take a look from that perspective, we can find news from each of those sections, but we also can find some additional information which is given to the audience, to the readers of Outsourcing and More magazine, in the formats of interviews, reviews, articles, and this kind of stuff of publications. So you can get familiar with the newest information, what is happening in the market, but also with the traditional articles which are going deeper in the knowledge sharing from the area of business, investments, and HR. The magazine, it is worth to say, is being prepared in two different language versions. One of them is Polish and the other one is English. So what are the differences between them? In Polish, you can find more information focused on Poland as a country, but also there are some such sections like books reviews. So those books which are being printed in Polish language and which focus on outsourcing and global business services industry, they are being promoted on the pages of Outsourcing and More magazine. Also, you can find here the recruitment announcements, but of the really high positions. So if somebody is looking for CEO, CFO, or a high-level specialist, this kind of recruitment announcements can be also found on the Polish pages of Outsourcing and More. In the English version of Outsourcing and More, you can find more international stories, which are coming from many countries, but about that in a moment. There is also one section which is similar in Polish and in English version, and its name is SSC Lions. In this section, there are being presented stories, or rather interviews, with the heads and key people representing shared services and GBS industries. So you can get familiar with what are the main ways of growth, development, but also the challenges in the area of shared service centers and global business services. When it comes to the international presence on the pages of Outsourcing and More, here you can find the stories coming from Poland, Ukraine, Lithuania, Romania, Bulgaria, Germany, UK, or even Egypt. So there are various stories coming from various countries. When it comes to Poland, and if you are interested in finding more detailed information about how in Poland the industry is being organized and where to set up your operation center in Poland, so you can find the stories coming from such cities like, for example, city of Poznań, Łódź, Warsaw, Lublin, Kielce, Częstochowa, Rzeszów, and some others as well. So there are stories coming from big, well-known destinations, but also from the smaller cities and towns. And it can give you the full picture of how the industry is growing and developing in those locations. What you can also find on the pages of Outsourcing and More, there is information about business events, not only limited to those which are organized in Poland, but also globally. So, for example, there are some stories coming from the events organized by SSON or IAOP or German Outsourcing Association or Lviv IT Cluster, or many others. And of course those which are organized in Poland, especially those which are organized in the cycle of BSS Tour organized by Pro Progressio in Poland. Each of the magazines has about 100 pages. So there are full pages of information, knowledge sharing, and so on and so on. The content is the key. So the main focus is on the know-how sharing, not necessarily promotion of a single service, company, or a city. So this is a bigger impact on how the industry is growing. What are the challenges? What are the trends? And so on and so on. And this is what we mainly focus on the pages of Outsourcing and More. Where the magazine can be found. Okay, so first of all, there is a group of over 1,000 subscribers who are receiving the magazine to their business units, so to their companies, to their offices. And those companies are located across Poland because the paper edition of the magazine is being distributed mainly in Poland. Besides the regular subscribers, there are also 300 press points in Poland, and those are usually hotels, embassies. Those are also the coffee shops. This is the office of the Invest in Poland agency. Those are the offices of investor support offices, and so on and so on. Over 300 this kind of points across whole Poland. The magazine is also available on the business events. During the year, the magazine gives the media patronage for nearly 100 different business events, from the very small ones, like for example the business breakfasts, to the very big one, like summits, congresses, and the forums. And the magazine, where you can see the name of Outsourcing and More, is very probable to be available over there. The paper version is not the only one which is being available for the readers. It is also available in the digital version, and this digital version is currently in the range of 200,000 readers globally. The main group of readers are coming from Poland, but just behind them there are also readers coming from US, UK, Scandinavia, Germany, but also India, China, Philippines, and some other countries. So it looks like the magazine is being read and downloaded across the globe. Okay, so you can find the magazine in paper and also in digital version. If you want to find it, you can go to the ProProgressio web pages. I will share the link to the magazine to the description of this podcast, and then you will be able to download it free of charge and find out what is the content of the magazine. Can anyone download the magazine? Not necessarily. The magazine is focused on business, so you need to use your company domain to get the magazine. There are some blocked domains from which the magazine cannot be downloaded, and this list is ongoing in being created. So the editorial team is interested in who is actually downloading this magazine and who is interested in getting familiar in this, what is happening in the industry. This mailing list is not being used later on for any other purposes, but the important thing is that the content goes to the business. Okay, that's it what I had for you today. This was episode which was focused on the Outsourcing and More magazine, the only Polish-English business support services and outsourcing magazine which is being regularly printed and edited in Poland in a bi-monthly cycle. And it's already 49 editions of this magazine behind us. So the 50th one is coming on the January 2020. Get ready for it because there is a lot of interesting content going in it. Okay, thank you very much. It was Victor Doctor and it was Good Morning BSS World podcast, edited in Poland, in Warsaw, especially for you. Take care and see you in the new 2020. Thank you. Bye-bye.